Etsy hosting its first ever Investor Day at its Brooklyn headquarters. It happened on Thursday. CEO Josh Silverman outlining the company's long-term vision. It's not taking a little bit of a hit during yesterday's session. It is a bit weaker this morning, but Etsy has been on a tear, outperforming Amazon year to date, up more than 30% since the start of the year. And we should really show that chart from when Josh started at the company. Joining us right now on set is Josh Silverman, and it is great to see you. We were talking during the commercial break about why even have an investor day, and part of it is actually, I imagine, persuading and convincing investors why it'll continue to hold on to a stock that's moved as high as it has.
Yeah, I mean, it's an opportunity for us to really tell our story and paint the vision. You know, we weren't the management team that took the company public, so This is the first time I've had more than about 20 minutes to really tell what we're building. And so it was really, what's the future, what's the opportunity, and how we're going to get there.
Okay, so explain this. Explain this chart, because I want to know whether you ever expected this when you took on this job, in terms of how much this stock has moved in literally, you haven't even been on the job for 2 years now.
It'll be 2 years in May. You know, thinking about stock prices isn't something that we spend a lot of time on, but I will say that the mission of Etsy is incredibly powerful and incredibly relevant. And two-sided marketplaces are lightning in a bottle. They're incredibly hard to build, and once you've got them, they're incredibly valuable.
But when you took this job, what did you know that everybody else didn't?
I knew that Etsy's mission is more relevant today than ever. In a world where automation is changing the nature of work, creativity can't be automated. So it's got to be that by allowing millions of creative entrepreneurs to take their creative passion and turn that into a business.
Okay, but was it mispriced then, or did you do something that nobody understands?
Well, we've brought a lot of focus to the business. We're growing twice as fast and with twice the profit margin we were before, and that, I think, is helpful. Right.
To the extent that the stock did take a dip yesterday, what do you think it was? And I know you heard from investors who I imagine must have come over to you and talked to you, but what do you think it was that sort of, I don't want to say it took any of the air out of the balloon, but to the extent of how people have been thinking about this as a company?
You know, our stock moves up and down a few percentage points almost every day, so I really don't lose a lot of sleep about the stock moving up or down a couple percent. I'm really excited about what we said was we grew about 4 percentage points faster than the market last year, and we said over the next 5 years we expect to grow much faster than the market every year for at least the next 5 years, and to do it with expanding profit margins. We feel great about that.
Can we talk about the competition from Amazon, and in particular the idea of shipping and being able to get to market literally within hours?
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of getting the product to me. Now, I know custom products are a different story, just to even get the product made, but then you get into all of the logistics and everything else, and how you compete with that.
Yeah, you know, look, we are buying lots of commodities all the time, every day, things that are sort of disposable products like batteries and diapers and socks. And those, you just want them to come fast and be cheap. But there's times when you want something that means something. Those are often things that are made to order. So most things that you buy from Etsy are actually made just for you. They're not sitting in a warehouse waiting to ship. And so it makes sense that it takes a little bit more time to arrive, but I think customers are perfectly prepared for that.
Today, we should say, is International Women's Day.
Yes.
You say that 33% of Etsy engineers are female.
Yes.
That compares to an industry average of 12%, and 50% of your board is female as well.
Yes.
Before we talk about the board piece, I want to understand the engineer piece. That didn't happen by accident.
Where do you find them?
Didn't happen by accident. You know, it becomes a competitive advantage because we've been focused on building a diverse workforce for many years. And first, I want to say it makes sense for our business. 87% of our sellers are women, 87% of our buyers are women. Yeah. So it ought to be a company that is led by many terrific women, which our company is. Success breeds success. Women know that Etsy is a place that they can come and succeed, and that attracts other fantastic women.
You're a New Yorker. I want to read you a tweet that you, I think that came out about Amazon HQ. You said, "It's weird when we start rooting for a high-wage employer to go away. Any growth in the New York tech sector is good for us." What did you think of what happened?
You know, I think over the medium and long term, it's good for New York to have more great tech employers here. And
were you okay with them effectively getting a subsidy that you don't have?
You know, look, we compete with Amazon on and off the playing field. We compete for customers, we compete for employees. But ultimately, I compete with Facebook, with Google, with many of the best tech employers for
Google's not
talent.
getting subsidized to be here in Manhattan either. I'm only taking the other side of this to have fun with it, because I actually desperately thought that Amazon should have been here, and I thought it was crazy.
Yeah.
But I would think that actually maybe a competitor might have a different view.
Yeah, in terms of how much subsidy they get, I wasn't there in the negotiations. I guess what I was trying to say is we're not afraid to compete with them for talent. Etsy's a great place to work with a great mission and a great culture. And ultimately, we think having a better tech sector in New York is good for us.
And then finally, just talk to us about international expansion and the idea of sort of adjacencies. Where else you think the Etsy brand and business can go? Yeah,
so first, we're a global marketplace. So that's good for everyone, better for sellers and better for buyers.
But still, how much of the business is U.S. right now?
About 2/3 of the business is U.S. and about 1/3 of the business is international, and the international piece is growing the fastest.
So if we have this conversation in 2 years, do you think it'll be what?
I hope.
What would you want it to be?
I want the domestic business to grow super fast, and I want the international business to grow super fast. So I don't see it as a zero-sum game where one comes at the expense of the other. But the UK and Germany both now have more than 50% of their trade as local trade. And what I want to see is more countries where at least 50% of trade is domestic outside of the US.
Okay. What's your favorite product on Etsy?
I just bought this fantastic hat that I love. So
a custom
it was made
hat?
just for me. Yep.
I bought a bunch of stuff there.
It's wool and fuzzy, and when you got no hair like me, it really helps to have a warm hat in the winter.
I bought
Josh
some really
Silverman,
nice
thank you.
scarves that had been
Oh, great.
handmade off Etsy at Christmas time, too.